He left. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ella Johnson Show. I'm your host, Ella Johnson. And listen, as always, I am very excited to be here today. I'm always excited to be here. I mean, how could I not be excited to be here with you guys? Like, that's the best thing. Well, listen, if you are watching my broadcast from Facebook, I truly do appreciate you. I always appreciate anyone who takes the time to tune in to the Ella Johnson Show because real talk, you could be doing anything, like watching a football game or whatever is going on Sundays. You could be doing it, but you are here with me and I appreciate it. I just need you to do me a favor. If you're watching from Facebook, just share the broadcast for me, right? Just hit the share button and we're good, right? So I appreciate that. If you are watching the broadcast from YouTube, I equally appreciate you. But so many of you have decided to subscribe to my channel, and I am grateful for that. So if you're watching by way of YouTube, then do me a favor, just subscribe to the channel. I mean, like you're already there, right? So listen, I have some friends of mine that are going to tune in with me a little later on today because we have a lot to unpack today on this broadcast, right? Like we're going to be talking about lust versus love. I know they both feel good, right? But one is what you want and one isn't what you want. Well, for some people, maybe they just want to be in a lustful relationship. But for those of you who want to be in a love relationship, but you are in a lustful relationship, well, this show is definitely for you because you need to know the difference. Because, like the title says, knowing the difference makes the difference. Because let me tell you guys something, this lust thing, yeah, it feels good. You're getting a relationship with someone and it's a lustful thing, but who wouldn't want to know if it's real, right? Don't you want to know if the person that you're laying with really loves you? Like, don't you want that? Well, because listen, when you're in a lustful relationship and you really do want love, it can make you do some crazy things. It can make your decision making be just raggedy because you think you're in love when it's really lust. So, like I said, knowing the difference makes the difference. Well, listen, that's all coming up next on the Ella Johnson Show. But while I am showing you guys this video, do me a favor and tag some of your friends into the broadcast because you guys are going to have to be part of this broadcast for me today, right? I want you to ask questions. I want your comments, and I'll be asking some questions, and I'll want you guys to put those in the comment box, right? So I do appreciate you, but we'll be back right after this video. It's time for the Ella Johnson Show. I'm so excited that you've taken time out to tune in to the Ella Johnson Show. I hope you enjoy the broadcast. You may laugh, you may cry, but I hope you'll be moved by what you hear. So sit back, relax, and I'll see you at the end of the show. One day someone asked me,
Ella, why do you like to have talk shows? Why is it so important for you that people come onto your show to tell their stories? I said, because people have to understand that things don't happen to you, they happen through you. So I like to be that platform for people to be used by God. And now it's time for the Ella Johnson Show, where we set the table for real talk conversations. Stay tuned.
And we're back. We're back. Listen, did you guys like that video? I don't know how many of you have actually purchased my children's book. Okay. But if you have not, I want you guys to go right now to Amazon. All right. This is my children's book, Love You More. If you have not had an opportunity to purchase my book, I need you guys to go there right now. Just type it in, Love You More, Ella Johnson, and get my book. I want you guys to just start thinking about all the kids that you want to bless this holiday season with the Ella Johnson's Love You More children's book. Listen, I had a great time writing that book, right? And if you know, and you've been following me, you know that this book is dedicated to my sister who passed away. She is, in fact, the angel that you see on the book. And her grandson is the one that's holding the basketball, T-Boy, right? But get the story, get the book. It's amazing. If I must say so myself, I'm just saying, well, the sales say that it's amazing. So might as well join in, right? Well, listen, if you have just tuned into the Ella Johnson Show today, we are talking about healthy relationships. Is it lust or love? Knowing the difference makes the difference, right? Because sometimes I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I've been in a lustful relationship. There it is. Who hasn't, though, right? How many people haven't actually had a relationship that was just kind of built on sex? I know that sounds like a dirty thing, but we keep it real on the Ella Johnson Show. There are times when relationships aren't quite what you think they are. So today we're going to unpack some things that I personally think and that I've researched and my friends are going to share on what we believe that can kind of help us all understand the difference, right? But before I do that, I want to give you guys some stats because people are getting into relationships, getting out of relationships. I do have good news, though. Based on my research, I found that divorce rates have fallen, right? I was excited when I saw that. I said, look at that. People are realizing they need to be together and they're letting God lead the way. But then the second part of that was, but marriage rates are falling down too. So that means that just as many people are in relationships, we have just as many people that are deciding not to be married. Now, why is that, do you think? Why do you think that people will decide to be in a relationship but not get married? Right? Even though the divorce rates are falling, maybe that's why the divorce rates are falling, right? Maybe it's because people are like, well, listen, we can't worry about the rates going up if we are not getting married. But should people get married? I mean, like, think about it in your relationship, those of you that are watching this broadcast, if you're in a relationship right now, do you think that that relationship warrants the next step, which is marriage? Think about it. Are they committed? Do they cheat on you? Do they show interest in what you're interested in? Do they have time for you? Are you a priority? See, these are the kinds of things that I think. This is what I think. Do we know what I think? Yeah, of course. Ella, tell us what you think. I think that people are staying away from the M word and the commitment because they're not quite getting everything that they need. Well, are you going to get everything that you need before you get married? I mean, like, is that the deal breaker? I'm just asking, I'm going to ask you guys some questions. All right. And I want you're watching the broadcast. I want you guys to tell me what you think. Yeah, Sherry says divorce rates are dry. Yeah, they are, but so are marriage rates, right? So I like to personally see people get married, especially if you're in love. This is just my word to the wise. If you're in love and you know you're with someone that you love and you want to spend the rest of your life with, I'm just saying, don't play games and don't make it seem like you have other reasons for why you don't want to commit. Find out what they are. Because I don't think that most people get into a relationship and commit themselves to someone if they don't want to see it go to the next step. I could be wrong. Some people could just want to stay there. They're good with that. And some people really want to take that commitment all the way to the end, to the commitment, to the point to where I'm carrying your last name, right? Or does that matter? So I have a question for you guys. All right? Y'all ready to play along? I have a question for you. Tell me if you would rather just be with the one you love, right? Or, okay, what's my question? Wait a minute. Y'all got me all mixed up. Because this is important, all right? Would you rather love the one you're with or be with the one you love? I know it's like, but Ella, that sounds like the same thing. No. Let me say it again. Because some people are just loving the one they're with. Well, you know what? He's here. He may not be exactly what I want, but he's here. And he wants to be with me. Do you rather love the one you're with or say, you know what, Ella, I'm settling. So I'd rather be with the one I love. Because sometimes we're not with the one we love and the one that loves us, right? So I want you guys to answer that question. Would you rather love the one you're with, A, or would you rather be with the one you love? Just in case they're not the same. Now, in some people's cases, they may be the same person. They be like, oh, no, Ella, I'm with the one I love and I'm in love with him. We're good. If that's your case, you are doing something right. But if you are settling, tell me, would you rather love the one you're with or be with the one you love? Sherry says, I'd rather be with the one that I love. I love it. Now, let's talk about it. Would you rather be with the one you love? I'm with Sherry on that. Because you know what? Life is short. Because I think that, you spend your entire life with someone and you're settling and you're with that person because of convenience. You're with that person because their commitment. They're there. They're like, I'm with you no matter what. And it's hard to find commitment. But if you find it, most people just rather say, you know what, Ella, I'll just love the one I'm with. I'll fall in love with him at some point. Or would you rather be with the one you love and wait? Because sometimes being with the one you love may require you to wait. Are you willing to wait? I see you, Emmanuel, following. My Liberian friends are in the building. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I know it's pretty late over there in Liberia. You guys are like 4 hours ahead of me. So if it is 6 here, it's like 10:30 there. So thank you. I appreciate that. But I want you guys to join in on the conversation. I have another question. Do you believe that it's possible to fall in lust with someone and it turn to love? 2 questions on the table for you today. Because sometimes you might hit it and quit it. Or sometimes you might hit it and stay there because there's something else brewing. Can lust turn to love? I'm telling you, can lust turn to love? We're going to get into all of this today, guys. Shauna says, I have to find the one. No more wasting precious time. Yeah. She says she has to find the one because there's no more wasting precious time. I agree because life is short. And men, if you're not serious about this woman, and I'm talking to the men right now, you're watching. If you're with a woman and you're just playing games, let it go. Now, women, we have to make sure men that know what we want too. We can't be afraid to say what we want because now that's an issue as well. Wouldn't you agree, Sherry? Sometimes women are afraid. We're like, listen, I'll just take it, Ella. I know it's not exactly what I want. I know he doesn't do everything I want, but listen, I'll take it for right now. It's all good. Well, then he thinks it's acceptable. He thinks you're good with that. And he's not going to give you anything else. But there's nothing wrong, ladies or men, with saying what you want. and standing by what you want and not feeling like you're nagging because you have high standards. There's nothing wrong with standards, right? There's nothing wrong with standards. Standards is not a dirty word in relationships, right? It is not a dirty word in relationships. Yeah, Sherry says closed mouths don't get fed. She's right. Because listen, I was just having this conversation earlier today. I really was. That's why I'm just like so fresh with this, right? Because I was having a conversation earlier with someone, and it's like men want you to understand what issues they may have. But it's okay to understand it. It's okay to compromise, but don't sacrifice, right? There's a difference. Compromise, but don't sacrifice. I'll tell you guys what that means in a second. I appreciate these comments. Sherry says boundaries is the ultimate self-care. Absolutely. If you truly love yourself and you are taking care of yourself, you have to know what those boundaries are. And you cannot be afraid to communicate those boundaries. You cannot be afraid to stand by that, because we as women will never be happy if we're constantly moving the barrier, moving it, taking more and more. And before you know it, you're like 10 years into the relationship and you're still lying. Yeah, because we lie sometimes. Come on now, y'all. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real on the Ella Johnson Show. We make posts on Facebook and in social media, making it seem like it's all that, pictures, the whole nine. And as soon as you do that, because see, sometimes we feel, I think that sometimes we put these posts and stuff to make it seem like it's all that, not for us, but to convince other people, right? I'm just saying, what do I know? I've always had to stand by my standards. That's right, Shauna. Shauna says she always has to stand by her standards because you have to. And don't be afraid that it may be taking too long to find that right guy because you're having to make sure you stand by your standards. Now, Emmanuel says the best thing in relationships is staying with the right person. Absolutely. Absolutely, Emmanuel. You know, because if you have ever had the privilege of being with someone and you know this person is the one that God sent you, there is nothing in the world that you guys can't do together, right? And this is the unfortunate part, is because sometimes we know it, we play games, and then we can't get back, right? So I just want to have these kinds of broadcasts so you can limit the game playing, right? Stop making her run behind you, because some women won't. And let me tell you, man, I'm just going to be 100. Okay. And I'm speaking from this perspective because, hello, I'm a woman. So I'm going to speak from our perspective a little bit. When a woman is crying over you and she's begging you, she wants more time, she wants more attention from you. Listen, because let me tell you, this is going to be the saddest day for you when she stops crying. I'm just saying. If a woman is still crying and she's still texting you, where are you? Why haven't you called me? I waited for you. If she's doing that, you still got her. She's good. But there will come a day. Help me, ladies. Help me, lights. There will come a day when that woman is going to say, you know what? I'm done. When she stops crying, baby, it's a wrap. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Shauna says, boundaries, gotta have it. I will be alone. Yeah. I'm with you on that, Shauna, because at the end of the day, I'd rather be by myself than to be with someone who drains my energy. I'm not going to do it. I can't. No chasing. Absolutely. We don't have any chaser here, baby. That's real. Facts. Absolutely. So this show is not just for women. The show is for men. If you are just tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show, we're talking about lust or love. Is it lust or is it love? Right? Knowing the difference makes the difference. Because listen, the saddest thing in the world is for a woman to stick around and be there for a man who was lusting after you 20 years ago and you're still waiting on a ring. I'm just telling you, it's probably not going to come. But think about it. 20 years, what have they gotten? They've gotten everything that a wife gives a husband, right? If he's not willing to turn you into a wife, why treat him like a wife treats a man? Like, I'm just thinking about that. That's just logical to me, right? And we've all been there. There's no judgment here on the Ella Johnson Show. I've been there too, because we give these men everything, because I think Men, I think we do it for you guys because we're hoping that you'll see how valuable we are. But can you be valuable to a man not opening your legs? Just wondering. How many people are willing to say, I'm going to wait on giving you sex until you marry me? Are people still doing that in 2022? Like, I'm just wondering, are people still saying no? Or are women more interested in the sex part than the men are? Because I have a lot of guy friends, ladies. Let me just tell you what they say. All right. Y'all want this? I'm giving y'all inside scoop here. Because that's why I like to have a lot of guy friends because, they let me know, just so I can have some information for the show. Right. So let me tell you guys what men say. Men say, well, Ella, you know what? Real talk. Why do I need to commit to her? Everything that I could get in a marriage, I'm getting just being in a relationship with her. And I haven't committed to her and she gives me everything I want. I haven't promised her anything. She gives me everything I want. I'm just being real with you guys. So where are we with that? But let's talk about lust and love. All right. Because there is a difference. By the end of this broadcast, you're going to know if you're with a bozo or if you're with your Boaz, right? There's a difference, guys. You are going to know if you are with a bozo or if you are with your Boaz by the end of this broadcast. And Shauna says a lot of people are waiting. I am as well. I hear you, sweetie. Good for you, Shauna. Good for you. I'd love for you to join the broadcast if you like, just send me a message or send a message there and say, I want to come on the broadcast and we'll bring you right on, sweetie. We sure will. But let's get to this lust and love thing, guys. All right. Okay, Ella, what is the difference? I'm glad you asked that question. So, lust, driven by sex. That's pretty self-explanatory. And I'm talking about that kind of sex that makes you want to like just rip their clothes off. That kind of sex. I mean, lust. Like you're just like, I got to have it. I don't care. I don't care. I know. Come on now. Some of you have said that. I got to have it. I've said it. I got to get it. Right? That's lust. There's no emotional attraction yet. There's nothing connected. There's no spiritual connection yet. It's just lust. Call it what it is. Right? And I think that's part of the problem. We want to call lust love when it's really just lust. And nobody wants to say that. But listen, don't you want to know now than 10 years and you're on the statistics for a divorce? I'm just saying. That's one way if all you guys are doing is just having sex, he's not trying to get to know you. He's not trying to get to know your peeps. He's not trying to get to know your kids. He doesn't even want to be around when they come around. That's kind of letting you know he's not interested in a future. I'm just saying. Do you guys agree? He's just there for the sex because when that's done, he's gone. All right. Another thing. There's very little substance when it's just lust. Now, you guys, I'm not in your homes. I'm not in your business. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you're going to do when you get up this broadcast when this is over. But what I do know is that and if right now, if he's sitting there with you watching this broadcast and he's interested in talking about some of the things that come up, might be a keeper. He might want to see what you feel, want to see what concerns you, and he might be interested in what's going on here, right? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't know about you, Shauna or Sherry, I am one of these kind of people. If you cannot stimulate me here, you will never get past first base with me. I'm just saying. Because there has to be something that stimulates me, and just sex, that's not enough. I'm sorry. Because haven't we learned how, to do it without a partner? I'm just saying. Yeah, we have. So it takes more than that. I need someone to mentally stimulate me. I'm just saying. Some people are like that too. Adam. Hi, Adam. How are ya? Long time no see. That's Adam Longwell guy. He's going to be on the show one day to tell his story. But today we are talking about lust versus love, right? Let's get some more differences here. I already talked about he's not talking about a future with you. Now let's talk about what love looks like. Emotional experience of feelings, There's connectivity. There's a bond. We're talking about the future. I want to know who your VIPs are. I want to know the people in your life that are important. I want to know what your goals are. I want to know what it is that drives you. I want to know where you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years. I want to know. This is how you know when it's love. Now, can you have lust and love? I mean, I don't know. I need an expert on the show to answer that. But I do know that you can lust after someone you love. I do believe that lust can turn into love. I do. Do you guys agree? Do you think that someone you might be lusting over today could be the man you love tomorrow? Just asking. Do you think that's possible? Yes. Adam says yes. What about you, Sherry? What about you, Emmanuel? What about you, Shauna? Can I lust after a guy today? Keep lusting him, keep giving it up, and then one day, just one day, it turns into love. Is that possible? I don't know. Depends on the person, maybe. Yeah, I think so. I think it depends on the person, because there's some people now. You guys tell me what you think. I had a conversation with a girlfriend the other day. She said, Ella, there's absolutely no way I can sleep with someone I don't have feelings for. Then don't compromise that. Don't ever compromise that, because I think that's part of where my compromise is too. Because if I like you and I see you're not feeling me, I'm not going to give it up. Because what you don't want is to allow and give yourself to someone that's not thinking the same way you do, especially when you know it up front, right? That's when we start sacrificing. That's when we start compromising a little too much. That's when we let our own barriers down, right? Because there's certain lines that shouldn't be crossed in this love game. Because if you do not understand the difference between love and lust, you will be one of those people that's calling some kind of love doctor to try to help you through this mess. Because when you start mixing your another thing I noticed too, guys, Adam, you're a man, you're there, talk to us. How is it that men, because some men and some women too, I'm just saying, and I know this because they tell me, there are some men and some women that can actually lay down with you and feel nothing, no emotions, no nothing. They're just like, look, that was great. And there's some women that could do it. They could sleep with you, and tomorrow you call them and they just act like they don't even know you, right? How many of us have ever done that? And is that cold? Or is it okay if you communicate that up front? Is it okay to do stuff like that if you tell them up front, listen, I'm just going to be 100 with you. I don't want anything. I don't want a relationship with you. I don't want to be with you. I don't want a future with you. This is really physical. Now, I can respect someone who does that. I'm just going to be 100. I can respect someone who does that, and it's agreed upon by both parties. And of course, I mean, now I'm not trying to preach at nobody right now. We already know what the Bible says, etc., etc. But I'm just talking to the people that are going to do this anyway. If you're going to sleep with someone and it just be about sex, make sure both people understand that that's what it is. I think it's fair game then, right? And Adam says it's all about finding someone who makes you feel special every day. Okay. All right. Let's unpack that. Adam says feeling special every day. Have you guys ever been with someone that makes you feel special every single day? Like they check on you. If you're having a good day, if you're having a bad day, they know about it. They care. They actually ask how you're doing and wait for the answer. And how many times have you had people ask how you're doing and you go to tell them, they're like, dang, that's not the answer I wanted, right? Because that's how you know when they really don't care. But making you feel special every day, that's amazing. But listen, guys, I have to be 100 here. Everybody has to do it. I'm not just talking to the men, women. This is not just about you, all right? Men want to feel special as well. They want to know that you care about what they have going on, even if you don't really understand it or if you really don't have interest in it. At least, at least act like you got some cares and concerns about what he's doing. I'm just saying, right? We want it. We want them to know all about this boring stuff that we do, like cooking. That's the first thing I can think of. I mean, you know what I'm saying. You find a new recipe and you can't wait to tell your boyfriend about it. Okay, he doesn't really care about that. He just wants the end result, but it matters to you. But he also has seen something online about how to fix a boat or how to build a fence in a more efficient way, and that excites him. So you have to be equally as interested. I'm just saying, it works both ways, right? Now, when it's love and when it's lust, you're not going to get this. All these things that I'm talking about, guys, these are things that you have in a love relationship. Now, Ella, are you saying that because I don't have this stuff that you are talking about, that I'm in a lustful relationship? No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that I want you to be real about what you have, right? I don't know what's in your what's going on behind closed doors, and nobody really does. But what I'm saying is, if you know what's going on behind closed doors, and you know he's not checking for you, you could be gone for 2 weeks, and he never, not one time, wants to know if you all right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that might not be what you want because he's not interested, right? If I'm traveling and the guy that I'm in love with says to me, Ella, did you make it to Alabama? Did you make it to Texas? Did you make it to where you were going safely? I want you to text me when you get there. I want to know where you are. I want that shows a genuine interest in my arriving safely, right? And these are just some examples of what I personally think are what we should be looking for when you want a love relationship. Because some people, I'm not saying that lust relationships are like the worst things that could ever happen to you, because that might be what you want. What I'm just trying to prevent you from doing is getting yourself so in love with someone that is not. You're making him a priority and he makes you an option, right? Say that again. Don't make a man a priority who only makes you an option. What does that mean, Ella? I'm glad you asked. What that means is you're so concerned about him, but he's not checking for you. He's not going to check on you. He's going to check on everybody else. You come last. Where are you? That's another question. In these lust versus love relationships, where do you fall on the priority line with this man? Right? Like, does he talk to you when he wakes up? Does he talk to you before he goes to bed? Where do you fall? Right? Don't you want to know that? Like, don't you want to know where you fall in his heart, in his life? Like, are you the person he calls if someone dies? Or someone, if he has a heartbreak about something in his family, or if something goes wrong on the job? Are you the one? Or is it all these other people and you have to read about it on Facebook? Come on, y'all have to be real. Y'all know some of you are dating people and you don't really know what's going on with him, but you try to act like you do. Come on now. I know I haven't been the only one, right? You act like you knew what he just posted. Your friends are like, girl, I saw so-and-so's post. Oh, yeah, child. He called me. He told me about that. And you know he didn't. You found out about it on Facebook. Listen, you're not a priority to him. Because a man that is going through something, he's going to want you to go through and share it with you. I'm just saying, that's just one thing. Let's get into some of this other stuff that I found out in my research, right? Now, here's some differences that we have to really just kind of open our hearts out to receive. All right. I just pray that you guys will receive all these things I'm going to say. Now, when it's love, you will crave them emotionally and physically. I'm not saying that if you're in love with somebody, you're not going to want to have sex with them. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if I were to ask you about what his interests are and you don't know, it's probably just sex. If I ask you, well, where does he want to be in 10 years and you don't know, it's because you're not talking about that, right? He's not sharing that with you because he doesn't see you in that future. I'm just giving y'all something to think about. I don't want anybody going after this broadcast and breaking up with their man or breaking up with their woman. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just giving you something to think about through the week. All right. Do you challenge each other? You know, does he know everything there is to know about you? Does he know that time you might have, went to the loony bin Does he know about that time where you may have tried to kill yourself? Does he know about that time when you went through some of the hardest days? Or are you afraid to tell him all of that because you're afraid he's gonna run off? Just being real, that's something to think about. If you're with someone and you think that they're just so timid and they're just so, oh my gosh, if I tell him what I've been through, this guy is gonna he's gonna run. If you're afraid of that, this might not be the guy for you. Because the guy that loves you is going to know everything about you and love you anyway, right? He's going to give you that kind of God love. Because isn't that how God loves us? He knows everything about us and loves us anyway. That's how the man that I want on my side with me, I want him to be. You know, just saying. Now, let me ask you guys some questions. Let's talk about some stuff, right? While we give my guests time to come on and join me today. Do you know what's going on when he's not responding to your texts and your phone calls? This is a big one. I get a lot of people that talk about this one. They're like, yeah, Ella, that's one. Let's address that. Listen, it takes 2 seconds for a man to actually respond to you if you send him a text message. Men, if you are feeling this woman, please don't. This is one of those things that really irks us, right? Because if we take the time out to send you a message or pick up the phone, I'm talking about me now, because I'm not going to get mad at me. I'm talking about Ella. If I pick up a phone and I take my time to call you to see how you're doing or to say hello, because usually the call is going to last very short. It's going to be a very quick conversation because I just don't have time to sit up and talk all day. But if I take that time out, that means I was thinking about you at that part of my day. And I understand if you don't answer, because I want a man that's busy. You can't just be there talking to me all day, because if you're talking to me all day, then what are you really doing, right? So I understand there may be times where you can't answer, but you can definitely respond if I send you a text message to follow up. If I just say, hey, just called you, just checking on you, do have the courtesy and at least say, oh, I'm good, dear. I was busy, or whatever the case may be. Show some common courtesy. I just, that's one of my pet peeves. I don't know if it is for you guys, but that's one of my pet peeves, is when people don't at least take the time out and at least respond when you send a message. Like, that's rude, right? Like my grandkids say, that's so rude. That's one thing. We already talked about the future. If he's not talking about the future, that's probably lust. Priorities. If you're not up there in his top priorities, and this is how you'll know if you're a priority, he considers you when there's something he's considering, just saying, then that could be just lust. Now, I have a question, and I want this one for my guests when they come on. I want to talk about sex videos. Like, can you do a sex video and it be with someone that you love? Like, is that a lust thing where the guy's like filling out all his fantasies? He's like wanting to unload every fantasy he's ever had with you. And if a guy is doing that repeatedly, is that lust or is that love? Now, I've known married couples to have those videos. I mean, yeah, we know that happens. But I'm talking about when there's no commitment. Good question. So I want you guys to answer that one. Is it possible? Is this lust? I'm going to give you guys a question. You say, is that love or lust? I mean, none of us are experts, right? So we're just kind of playing along. But if a guy is asking you to continue to do these repeated sex videos and he wants to see you in that manner because it just, I don't know, it's one of his fantasies to see you in a sex video or see the two of you in a sex video, and he's continuously asking for this and you're not committed, does that frighten you that that could be lust or love? That's just one thing, right? Time management. Time management. Where is his time spent? And how much of that do you get? Right? Well, what do you mean, Ella? Well, let's look at it this way. Let's unpack this. There are 24 hours in a day. How many of them do you get? How many of them does he take and set aside for you? And then when he doesn't give you, he gives everybody all of his time. And then at the end of the day, you might get 15 minutes. Now, this is what's sad. Is some of you are just as giddy and as happy as you can be to get those 15 minutes. Why? why do you get excited if he just gives you a little something? Like, where are your standards? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be on his time management table? Like, do you want more time? And if you want more time, why not say it? I mean, you can't make anybody do anything, but if you want more time, what's wrong with letting that be known? I'm just saying. I'm big on communication. I think that there are a lot of people are divorced right now because they did not know how to communicate. They did not know how to talk about what they expect in sex. They didn't know how to talk about what they expect when it comes to finances. They didn't know how to talk about when it comes to the raising of the kids. I think a lot of marriages would have been saved if at the beginning of that marriage, if you had told me, number one, that you don't want kids, that would have probably knocked out some of the marriages right there. I mean, that would have kept people from going to the altar. I like people to go to the altar, but I like the right people going to the altar together, right? Not all these wrong people. And communication is how you prevent from going to the altar with the wrong person. Just saying. Now, I am divorced. I know where I messed up in that divorce. I know what I should have done. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, based on my research, the second and third marriages, also, there's a high rate of divorce, even from second and third marriages. So that's why these types of shows are so important. That's why I believe you got to keep it real. Because when we keep it real, we'll end up not getting into something that's wrong. Just being real, right? Let's see what other questions I got on here. Why are you interested in a relationship? Like, what does he really bring to the table for you? Like, I mean, because, we're too old to be thinking about he's cute, he's fine. I mean, those are vain things. They change. So that can't be our reasons, especially when you've entered into a certain level of maturity, right? It can't be, girl, he's fine. Girl, did you see him? No. I need a little bit more than that. What does he bring to the table? What drives him, right? I don't care about what he drives. What drives him? That's part of the problem. We are so concerned about what the man drives as opposed to what drives him. So why is it that if I have a conversation with you about a man that you say you love, how is it that you don't know any of these answers? That's a bad sign, right? That seems to me like that's a bad sign when it gets to the point to where you're not sure if it's real or if it's not. And I like to do this show, this type of conversation, because it helps us understand what it is that we're getting into. It helps us understand what we're attaching our children to. Because when we get in these relationships, it's not just us, right? That's in these relationships. It's not just, we're not just taking, especially if you have kids, you're bringing them along to be a part of this man or this woman's life. And what they do affects your children as well. So when we're making these decisions and we know it's just about lust, keep it away from your kids. Don't play games. Don't play with them, because that's what messes up a lot of kids. I'm not saying it's anything wrong with being in a lustful relationship. There are a lot of people that just like, look, Ella, we understand each other. He knows this is not love. I know this is not love. I know he's not checking for me. This is just something we do to when we both have that need, we take care of it. He goes his way, I go my way. When it's understood by both people, we are adults. But when you think it's love, that's when it becomes hurtful. That's when it becomes dangerous, because you think that sex is what's going to keep him. It does not. I don't care if you hang from the ceiling, baby. That's not going to keep him, because you got 2 or 3 other women that's hanging from the ceilings too, better than you. I'm just saying. I remember I met this guy once, and I wanted his perspective on love and relationships. Shauna, I like to bring the comments up. Shauna says, I don't appreciate sexual initiation from someone who has no intention of anything serious. As a woman, it's offensive, rather degrading. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. That's what I'm saying. If it's just sex, men, and that's all it is, just be 100 about it, right? Just be 100 about it and say that, and both agree that, you know what, this is what it is. And then I think it's healthier that way. It's just whenever the woman thinks it's something more and she's been telling people it's something more, Now you're going to be embarrassed because your friends are like, well, girl, listen, I mean, I know you think that this guy is all that, but I saw him with somebody else. Now your feelings are hurt. That's why you have to be honest, because you don't want your friends all in your business. Because once your friends get in your business, trust me, it makes it a lot easier. I mean, it makes it a lot harder, not easier. Makes it a lot harder because now they're watching, and they're watching him. They're watching you. They're watching the whole relationship like they don't have anything else to do. But just saying, make your life easier by just being 100 about, is it love or is it lust? And a lot of you that are watching this broadcast, you know the answer. I mean, you do. You do. And you don't have to tell me. You just be honest with yourself, right? Just be honest with yourself. Now, let me give you guys some more statistics that I found too. They said, and based on my research, that the more educated you are, the less likely you are to get divorced. Is that true? Right? What do you think about that? Yes or no? Do you think that people that are more educated have a tendency to stay in marriages longer than someone who isn't? And why do you think that would be? Why would someone who has a lot more education? Here's my thought. This is what I think. I think that people are calculating the risk of being apart, especially when there's money involved. So now we bring our education into it. Cheaper to keep her mindset. And I don't know. I just don't know if that's enough to stay together. I don't know if things that sound logical are the best, because logic is an enemy to faith. I do. I think that if you're a woman of God and you have faith, then you can walk away from something that does not seem logical, because logical to me personally, I think, is an enemy to faith, because we try to use logic and then we want to say we have faith. That's like saying, well, I know if I don't have money in the bank, how in the world am I going to believe God that I'm going to have a business? That seems logical, right? But it's also not faith. Because if you understand what faith means that I'm going to believe in something that I can't see. I'm going to believe in something that I don't know yet, right? You see what I'm saying? So we can't allow logic to lead the way, because logic would say, girl, you got too much to lose. Okay. If you divorce this man, you're going to have to give him half, because you make more money than he does, right? You're going to have to keep him in the lifestyle that he's been used to, right? That's logic. We think logic too much. But if you're going to think logical, then stop saying you got faith. I'm just saying. So if you believe that God brought you to it, and here's another thing, we always want to run to God when that marriage or that relationship goes sour, but we didn't consult him before when we were in lust. We didn't say, Lord Jesus. I'm probably one of the only people that I know that has a conversation with God when I know I'm fixing to do something lustful. I'm like, I know you saw that, right? I know you felt that too. Right? He knows everything. That's what I know. He knows everything. So why lie? He knows even how you feel when it comes to everything about you. He knows the number of hairs on your head. So if he knows that, don't you think he knows when you're lusting? Don't you know he knows when you act on that lust? So be real about it. Because God created us. And believe it or not, God created sex. He did. I know. You think, oh my God created sex? Yes. Yes, of course he did. But he also had a reason for creating it. Okay? And we can't be too casual about something that God created and think it's going to work the way God created it for, right? He created it for two people that are in love, that are married, to be able to share their bodies and have pleasure, give each other pleasure, right? So we can't abuse that thinking that it's going to work the same way. That's just like, remember when I was giving you guys the example about the puzzle, and I said the puzzle comes with all these pieces. Now they look a mess when you open that box, right? A mess. Nothing is together. You don't know where anything goes. You don't know how it's going to fit. You don't know anything. That's how it is with our lives too. Sometimes it looks like it's a mess. It seems like things aren't fitting, but your life is just like the picture that's on that puzzle, right? That puzzle, I don't care what it looks like when you open that box. At the front of that box, that's what it's going to look like if you put it together the way it should. And God has given each one of us the same type of picture to our puzzle. And if we try to put pieces in there that don't fit, it's not going to work. If we try to take pieces out that belong, it's not going to work. Right? So we might as well do it the way he set it up to be. And getting back to sex, he meant it for good. And he meant it to be pleasurable to you, but he also meant it to be between two people that are married, right? So that's just one of the things. Now, when I was going through, I was looking at Oprah's page, and Oprah talks about relationships and how it fares and how we get through the line of to get to romantic love. It starts with lust, then it turns into attraction, then attachment. Now, is it possible that we could be attaching ourselves to people that we're just obsessed with? Like, have you ever seen somebody that you really lust for and you would lose your mind if you saw them with someone else, even if you know it's just sex, right? Like, why do we do that? Why do we allow ourselves to be in that mindset when we know? I'm like, come on now, Ella, you know it was nothing. So why are you tripping? Why are you tripping when you see him with someone else? Because sometimes, be honest with you, sometimes we think we can handle it. Right, Shauna, Sherry? Sometimes we think I can get through this. I can, because I personally, I don't think women were built this way. I'm sorry. I think we may be able to keep it up for a while, but we can't keep it up too long. As far as like, I'm going to sleep with him and I know it's just sex. In the back of our minds, sometimes we're hoping there's more. We're hoping that if we keep giving it to him good, he'll change his mind. That's the same reason people get into messed up marriages. You think if he doesn't love you when he marries you, you think that 6 months or even 6 years down the line, I know he didn't love me when we got together, but he'll learn to love me. That's a gamble. That's a gamble, and it's hurtful, right? And I mean, we can't think that sex is going to turn somebody's heart for us. I hope that we are not in 2022 trying to use sex to get a guy. Okay. I know it sounds crazy. I'm going to say that again, because even me saying that, I'm like, wow, that's deep. Are we using sex to try to get a guy to commit? Because you can break your back. I mean, literally trying to give him the sex you think he deserves and he still won't commit. Right? There has to be a spiritual connection first. I personally think that. I personally think that when the spiritual connection is first, it will last. Now, if you don't believe me, test it. Every one of you right now that are sleeping with someone who hasn't committed to you, don't have sex with him for a week. I challenge you. I challenge you to do that. And let's see if he comes back. Right? I'm just saying, guys. Listen, I hope you all have gotten something out of this conversation. I was hoping and praying that my guests would have been able, but you know, sometimes people do have other obligations that come up at the last minute that they just cannot get out of. And I totally respect and understand that. So I'm going to just like maybe give it 5 more minutes because I think one of my guests is coming, but I'm not sure because I know that I wanted us to kind of talk and, you know, kind of share each other's ideas about lust or love. But if you are watching the broadcast and you are still here, I appreciate it so much. And I hope you guys are getting something out of it. Is it lust or is it love? Knowing the difference makes the difference. And I hope that you guys have heard something today that helps you kind of gauge where you are in that relationship, you know? And it's not an easy pill to swallow. Nobody wants to know that they've invested their time in someone who really doesn't care about them. Nobody wants to know that. Nobody wants to admit that. But I'm trying to save you a lot of heartache. It's better to admit it now than to go further and make bad decisions. Because one thing about lust, whether it's lust or whether it's love, you make bad decisions sometimes because your feelings are so caught up. You know, your feelings are so caught up and you think it's right. You think it's love, and you will alter your entire life for somebody that just wants a booty call. I'm just saying. Make sure it's not a booty call, like for real. Well, I think that my guests are here. I'm excited because I love when they join me. Well, look at that. There is Shannon Mason in the building.
Going on.
I
I'm sorry we're late. We was working on a project building a pergola.
It is perfectly fine with me. I understand. I understand. Where is my brother?
He on his way. He on his way now. So yeah, he's coming.
Wow. So how are you, sweetie? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Now that you're here.
Oh.
Listen, I love to talk, but talking for an entire hour by myself, I haven't done that in a long time.
I am.
Girl, I said I'm gonna talk until they show up.
Yeah, and that's not like us. We're always.
I know. It's all good. It's all good. I think Dr. Simone is going to join us a little bit too, because we're having an interesting conversation, because a lot of people think they're in love, Shannon, when it's really lust. The topic of our show today, is it love or is it lust? Knowing the difference makes the difference, because when you know the difference, you'll make a different choice. When you know the difference, you'll move a different way, because we are uprooting our lives. We are changing kids' schools. We are changing jobs and all of this over a booty call. Okay. And it's just not gonna, it's not gonna work. I, for one, love to lust after something I like. If I see a man and I'm lusting after him, yeah. My thing, Shannon, is we just got to know the difference.
Yeah. It's a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking about the topic just a few minutes ago, and I think everybody has marriage all wrong, right? Like the understanding marriage all wrong. And so when I was thinking about it, it's they base it on looks. They base it on the perfect couple, and it on paper, it looks like the perfect couple, the business plan, right? Like it looks great, but when you get in it, it's totally not what you think. And it's because you went in it wrong. Marriage is, whether they look at, he's the breadwinner, he makes a lot of money, he takes good care of me, you still look at it wrong. Vice versa, whether she's a go-getter, she makes it happen, you're still looking at it wrong, because we don't never look at marriage through the eyes of God. Right. We really look at marriage through the eyes of, do we look like the cute couple? He gives me a million butterflies. We don't really look at it through, wait, hold on. In 5 years, am I going to still like you?
I know, right?
Right now, I like you. Right now, it's cool. But am I going to say that 5 years from now? Matter of fact, am I going to say that 20 years from now, that I still like you? What happens when the breadwinning stops? Can we still laugh? It's like, it's fun. It's interesting because in our house, we have a bunch of athletes,
right?
So now it's trickling out. And so I was sitting here, and so the house is really quiet now because we have 3 at home now, and 2 are sophomores. And I'm like, wow, the house is real quiet. But yet we still laugh. We still like each other. You have couples who have kids, and then when the kid's gone, they're looking at each other like, I don't know you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But we still laugh. We still have our moments. But marriage is not what everybody thinks.
No, it's not.
It can be a beautiful thing if you look at it through the eyes of God. And if you understand your purpose together. Right.
Well, I'm going to be 100 with you, Shannon. I was not ready for marriage. I was not. I had no man had no business walking down the aisle with me. I was a mess. I did not cook. I did not even care about that. I felt like I could come home when I wanted to. Like, I had to be, real talk, I had to be reminded, like, you can't just kind of be staying out. You do have to go home at some point, right? Because I was so used to that single life, doing what Ella wants, making the decisions I wanted. And I didn't consider there was someone else now.
No.
So it's no wonder I ended up being divorced. I don't blame him. But even though I'm the one that initiated the divorce, but nonetheless, I had no business being married. I wasn't ready. I was 24 years old. I was still taking phone calls from guys. Like I would be sitting there with the guy I married, and another guy would call me, Shannon, and I would talk on the phone, and he's looking at me like, "That's kind of rude, Ellen." I'm like, "Yeah, but I was waiting on this phone call, right?" It did dawn that I mean, come on. So, but I'm not the only one. There are people that know better that are getting to marriages that they shouldn't because he's fine, girl. He's fine. He's got a good job. It takes more than that.
Well, she's bada boom, bada bang. She's here and she's that and she's perking here. Baby, let me tell you something. That will shift.
Yes, it will,
That
and they will go down.
It will go down. It will go sideways and
Come
upward.
on.
That will shift. And the question is, can you still love her?
Yes.
Did you marry her because she was a bada boom, bada bang? Like, what happens when she's not that anymore? What happens when that weight gain comes? What happens when her start falling out? What happens when those? People get into marriage for the wrong reasons, and they look at this extravagant wedding and big gown and just they got to have the bells and the whistles and the birds flying all over the world, and it's like you're missing the point.
Yeah.
God, what do you mean by marriage? What am I really supposed to do as a woman? What is really my assignment to my? What is really his assignment to me? Because when they say husbands love your wife as Christ loved the church, men don't understand what that means.
Right.
If you really think about how he loves us, in spite of the stuff we've done.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
He is like God. I mean, he literally, we don't even understand the level of love he has for us. And he's saying, husbands, love your wife like that. Right?
That's true.
The others with the wives honor. Okay, think about it, right? When God does something, what do? Ella, we worship it. We like, God, you're my everything. Oh,
yeah.
God, I mean, you're honoring God.
Spitting, throwing up, everything, falling out.
Mouth, you falling and everywhere, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me a wife honors her husband like that?
No. True. You got it. That's a good point. Yeah. But we want the stuff. We want the other side, but we don't want to do what it takes to get to that. Yeah. I agree.
What does it really look like to your husband, right? You got.
Check this out. We're talking about lust versus love today because we need to help people know the difference.
Right.
All right. One of the things that I brought up earlier, I said, is he asking about your future? Is he concerned? Are you in that future? Now, it is so difficult, Shannon, for people, women, men, all of us to look at this subject and say, yeah, it's just a booty call. Yeah, because I could care less about your kids. I could care less that your child made an A and it's on the refrigerator. Woman, I'm trying to get you in the bed and get some sex. So we have to understand that there are difference. How does if a woman says, well, Ella, you know what? And Shannon, I did sleep with him. I lusted him, but I've fallen in love with him. What ingredient needs to be added to lust to get us to love? Or is it possible to add anything to lust and get to love?
I mean, it's that's a tough one, right?
Yeah.
She said she fell in love with him.
Yeah.
But he didn't fall in love with her. So she's always going to be doing whatever she can to please him. It's not going to be mutual. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's funny because this is me. Now everybody's different but me. I don't believe there's such thing as falling in love. Because when you fall in, if something goes wrong and you fall out, that's what happens. When people fall out of love, they start looking.
True.
I'm just going to genuinely love you. If I just genuinely love you, then we can get through anything. But if I fall in love and then all of a sudden the butterflies have stopped and the fuzzy feeling, and now I'm going to start looking, or he's going to start looking, And it's funny because I heard a pastor mention today. He said, when we first got married, them first 6 months we was and moochie moochie moochie. He said that 7th month she stopped, and he was like, I was ready to go. And I was cracking up. He was like, I was looking for an escape route. Like, wait, what happened? All this stop. What's going on? And so he tells about how God had to deal with him and stuff, and the history, what was going on. But the point is, what happens when you don't fall in love anymore? When love, you're not in love anymore. You start looking because you fell out. So the question is, when it's a lustful situation, that's a tough one. That's a tough
because women think you can. I've heard people say, girl, if I can lay it on him good enough, he'll fall in love with me. No. I said, if you can break your back for a man, you can do flips, you can ride from the ceiling, you can have the biggest, the juiciest that exists, and he will still not commit to you. So I hope that in 2022, women are still not thinking that they can do something to change his mind. Because that is when that's when it hurts.
Especially if he's not yours.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
And then we try to do it with someone who is already committed. Like, we even compound the issue. Like, okay, he's not yours. He's someone else, and you're still trying to get him. Like, it's I don't know. I think that, this stuff is important because we've all been on a rut where we've fallen for someone that we should have just kept going. And then once you get sex involved, you're stuck kind of. Because now it becomes an addiction. It's like a drug. You're like, oh, I got to get him. I don't care if he gets up and goes and be with somebody else. I got to have it. We will even go there, Shannon. And I'm not saying what I'm thinking. I'm saying what I know. I have friends that share me their personal stuff. That, yes, I don't care if he's with someone else, as long as he's there when I need him. This is where we start compromising.
I have one of my athletes, and he told the story, so I know I can tell it. He's my son now, and he was in college, and he had a girlfriend, and they had just had a baby. And so anyway, go to college. These young kids in college, and you meet a girl, and they start hitting it off. And she goes, I just want to be your side chick. He was like, now listen, when you tell a dude that, it ain't like the joker gonna say no, right? Like, it ain't like he gonna say, no, you can't be my side chick. He gonna say yes. He was like, all right, cool. We got an understanding. You my side chick, right? And she was like, yeah. And you my side chick. Yes. Wow. Okay. She started catching feelings. This is what I'm talking about. She started catching feelings. So then the lust and the side chick now wants to be exclusive. And it's like, he was like, no. So it got so bad that she then hits up his baby's mama. She finds her and let him know what's going on. Right? So all this is going on. And so out of it, she's sending him all kind of pictures and doing all kind of stuff. So out of his frustration, he takes all the pictures and he puts it in a group chat back to her family to tell her to stop. Right?
No.
Just to tell her to stop. This is what your daughter is doing. Well, in the chat was the younger sister. And so what happens, it looked like pornography. And next he said he was at football practice. Now this is how dangerous a side chick can cost you everything, and a side man can cost you everything. So he was 1 year away from the NFL draft.
Oh.
3rd round pick, guaranteed, at least 2nd. He was at football practice. He did it the next day. He was at football practice, and the police was on the field escorting him off. He lost everything.
Because of this woman?
Because of lust. He lusting, she lusting. So it started off as a lust. It started off with, you be my side chick, we cool. Ain't got nothing to talk about. Nobody need to know. You just my side piece. That's lust. It didn't end well. He lost everything.
Wow. That's a deep lesson.
but the grace of God brought it back full circle to give him another chance, and that's how he ended up moving here with us, and God allowed us to help him. But the point is, look what all he lost.
Yes.
Side chick for a lustful moment.
It's not worth it, guys. Oh, it's not worth it. That 15, 20, okay, you're lucky 45. It's not worth it.
Cost him everything. He's not the only one. We know one, and everybody knows him. He tells a story. His name's Sean. He was first round pick, 2 weeks away from the NFL draft.
2 weeks.
Got a phone call, lustful moment. Got a phone call. Chick said he knew her, and he went over there. Next day with him, his roommate calls. Man, where you at? I'm out hanging out. Why? Police here looking for you. What are you talking about? She said you raped her.
Oh.
Come to find. Watch it. 3 years. This thing is locked up for 3 years. All for her to say she lied.
It's not worth it.
He lost first round, and usually first round picks, that's 20 mil easy. And he was 2 weeks away, not a year, 2. And all for her to come back full circle and say she lied.
She lied.
Well,
I hope they arrested her.
I don't know what's going on with this. It cleared in 2018. He's now back playing football, but he's in the CFL. He's not in the NFL. But
I truly believe, Shannon, when women lie like that, they should pay the price. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's why this whole, and see, women are giving other women a bad name when we want to come forward and tell the truth about something. And when we tell the truth, I'm all for you. If you were raped and this happened to you, I'm all for you. Get your justice. I'll get out there and pick it with you. But when you're lying, it ruins lives. And you need to be punished.
But look at that moment of lust. Look at that moment. Get some.
He put himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, with the wrong woman.
Look at same thing. Look at a woman who lusts for that moment, and she cost her marriage everything. And then you get those ones you lust with. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So now
some crazy ones out there.
Dude who lusts with a woman. Y'all have a lustful moment. She crazy. She stalking you. She threatening you. Vice versa. You get a guy who crazy, who's stalking. For what?
It's true, guys. I mean, I know it makes the conversation kind of go there, but it's real. Because women and men can be unstable based on what they've experienced in their life. And the least bit of attention you give a woman or a man, it makes them think we're in a relationship. You my woman now. And you just never know what she's doing behind the scene. You know, and in this case, she was ruining his life. So it's not worth it. So we have to take a responsibility and agree. We have to all agree that when we see it, call it for what it is, and make better decisions. And I said earlier, Shannon, I said, women that are in a lustful relationship with somebody, if it's agreed upon between two people, in other words, if me and Joe Blow are both, we're adults and we decide we want to get together for some casual sex, and we both understand that I know you don't love me. I definitely don't love you. This is not anything I'm going to come back and get you on. Is it okay to then, as long as it's mutual?
No,
Shannon, what do you think?
It's impossible, Ella. You know why it's impossible? Because the Bible said the woman is the receiver and the man is the giver. You cannot not catch feelings. I don't care who, you're not that strong. You can't. You're not that strong. You cannot not catch feelings. It's going to happen. I don't care if it's 6 months from now. I don't care if it's a year. Somebody's going to catch feelings. You just can't.
Now, Shannon, we got to have our silly moment. What's up? I'm glad she had to, y'all see she had to tell him it was live. That's a good wife, because he'll cut up.
Oh, he was going to cut up, y'all. He was on to cut up. That's
my brother right there, man. We have to, Shannon.
I always have to do this for the show when I sit next to him. I am not responsible for anything that comes out of his mouth. I need y'all to know that. Okay, we're good. Now we can go ahead.
Gee, your wife is on here talking about breast and how they can go sideways and go down. You know that, right? Your wife. did that. She was talking about it. Yeah. I even saw the comment here. But what she was trying to say is that we need to get in relationships for the right reason, because we're talking about lust versus love today. And a lot of times we get in these marriages and we think those things are going to sit up forever. They're not going to sit up. They're going to lay down at some point, right?
Yes, gravity takes over.
So you have to make sure that you are in love with this woman because of those kind of physical changes that are bound to take place. So we want to talk to you about lust versus love as a man, because we definitely have to get a man's perspective on this. What's the difference?
Well, love doesn't care. Love doesn't change when she gets big, when she gets thick, when she gets small. It just love loves. I mean, love would like to see you healthy,
Right.
but love is going to take you regardless. You know, and love will ask you, hey, sweetie, I need you to pay attention to what's going on. That love does that too. Love will say, hey, get up, baby. I bought you some jogging shorts and some jogging pants, and let's go jogging. Love does that.
Really?
Yeah, love
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one, I want my wife looking her best.
Yeah.
She wants me looking my best. And I don't know if you can tell, but you see the weight she's lost. Can you tell?
She looks great. Of course. She always looks great to me.
Yeah, she's lost a beautiful amount of weight. And again, I loved her when she was thick, but I love her when she's small. I mean, I love her, but I want to see her at her best at all times. She wants to see me at my best, She wants to make sure my beard is right. She wants to make sure my belly is not sticking out. And she'll tell me, "Hey, baby, your belly looking kind of big. Hey, leave my belly
She
alone."
sure will. I
do.
love you guys together because you guys complement each other so well.
When you talk about this right here.
Uh-huh.
But
Now-
I can't do that. Right? And I don't do
Okay,
that.
Gene. So tell me, what is lust? What is lust?
Lust is a dog in heat.
Dog in heat. Okay.
Lust
went there.
Lust is just heat. It's just heat fulfilled. Doesn't care who, doesn't care where, doesn't care when.
Okay, Gene, can a woman have lustful desire for a man and make him and do it so well and do it so often with him that it'll make him fall in love with her? Is that possible?
Sex doesn't make men fall in love.
Y'all heard it from a man's perspective. I told you. Even if it's good, Gene?
Sex doesn't make him fall in love. It'll make him crave. He can
Crazy.
crave. Yeah, he'll crave it. He'll like it. He'll want it. But that's not love. Respect and honor is love. If when a woman respects and honors a man, whether she's having sex with him or not, that is what causes men to fall in love.
Wow.
A man that's doing something and you come alongside and help him. That would be a man. Now we're talking about a man here. We're not talking about boys and thugs. We're talking about men.
Right.
Now a man will recognize a woman and her love, and he'll easily fall in love when she comes alongside him and helps him in his endeavor and what God has called him to do, because she is called to help meet. She is there to help him meet the call of God on his life. But lust is lust. That's what lust is.
So let me ask you a question then. If I decide that I am going to save myself, I don't know if you've ever been able to do this. You see somebody, you like, ooh, I got to have it. Ooh, I got to have that. She fine. And then she says, well, you know what? I'm saving myself. I want something that's real. Do you run the other way, or does that strike interest to you? Does that make you interested in a woman that tells you no? Even though you want it so badly, do you respect her enough to stay?
You know what? There's so many variables to that. Um, if for me, Shannon was like, wait, but Shannon showed a great deal of interest in me, and I showed a great deal of interest in her, and I began to like her more. The fact that we could laugh, the fact that we could talk, the fact that
Yeah.
we were, most of us was 100% honest all the time, and it was a true blessing. It was something that I hadn't had before, and I wanted that. I wanted to be able to rest at night knowing that my girl is not up and down the street, you know, and that. So yes, if her waiting was a part of them, so be it. But don't tell me wait and you still, you know, you're still looking.
Well, I want to chime in on that because even though somebody tells you to wait, you're talking about the sex part, right?
Right.
But you still don't know the dynamics of that person.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna wait till I get married, but you're not a helpmate. You don't help, you don't cook, you don't do nothing. But I waited for the sex, but the other part of you, we missing a piece.
No,
right?
You're missing a puzzle.
You're missing a piece of the puzzle. So you have people who will say, I'm not having sex till I get married, but then they still don't understand marriage.
Right.
They
In other
still
words,
don't-
they don't have anything to offer, but they're holding on to that sex part. But the other stuff, okay, what about all the other things?
Yeah, and you
I
can
hear.
keep the cookie. I mean, if you have relation, we can relate. Now that's one thing I'll say about Shannon over any woman I've ever, except for my first wife. Shannon and I can relate.
Yeah.
We can talk, we
Yeah.
laugh. Even when we get upset with each other, we still can make each other laugh.
Yeah.
Those things are rarities, you
Yes.
know. Cook, clean, whatever. Like today, I had to put a roof on a pergola, and I'm not going to ask my wife to get out there and help me climb no ladders. But the fact that she's there and she's like, baby, what you need? Baby, what can I get? Baby, what you? Let me
That's
hand it.
Shannon.
You know, and stuff like so. That I enjoyed that, and I even sent her a text. I just love you.
Aww.
Because that I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
had that before. You know, I had that before, and so that was very, very appreciative. Just being there with me in that hot 90-degree sun. Even though she was sitting in the shade, drinking water and Kool-Aid.
You see how he gives you props and then take them back?
I'm not taking it back,
I
but
saw that.
but it blessed my heart and it blessed my spirit, knowing that my wife is there with me. So that's what men, that's what men like. I don't know what boys and thugs want. Oh, I guess I do. They want the cookie, you know.
So,
But-
Gene, if a man is not making time for you, all right, let's say you guys met, you've been regularly hooking up, you know, but the only time you get a chance to talk to him is when y'all are hooking up. So, what does that mean? Is that lust or is that love?
That's all lust. That's 100% lust. Because love makes
Okay,
time. Love makes time.
love makes time. All right, let's say we're hooking up and I'm trying to talk to him about his future, like what goals he has, but he doesn't turn around and ask me. Is that lust or is that love?
Lust. Yeah, there ain't no love in that.
The man says, hey, Ella, you know, you and I been kicking it, and I want to be able to see you when I'm not with you. Can we do a sex video? And just something for us to look at. But he hasn't committed to me. Lust or love?
Yes.
Call the police.
Right.
That joke.
But gee, married couples do videos.
We're not talking about married couple. We're talking about
Right. But I'm saying, you said call the police, but I'm saying, married couples actually do it too. I'm gonna give you another one. All right. He has flaws. Okay. We're me and the guy, we're hooking up, and I realize, you know what? He has flaws. I'm fixing to bounce. I don't like, he passes gas at night. He don't like to bathe after sex. I mean, I'm just throwing some things out there. Okay. All right. We're recognizing his flaws. Those are bad ones. Mm-hmm. If I dip, lust or love?
Lust.
Yeah. No, the reason I'm bringing these obvious answers out is because a lot of times people want to make it what it isn't. We want to make it because I was sharing on the broadcast before you guys came that I have friends that say, you know what, Ella, I'll take what I can get. They really believe that Betty Wright song where she says having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. I totally disagree with Betty. Love the song, but I disagree with that. Do you agree that having a piece of man or having a piece of woman is better than having no man or no woman at all?
You first.
No. Having a piece of what? No. You believe it's better to have a piece?
Listen. This is where I'm at.
Oh Lord, here you go. I'm not responsible.
Okay. Life throws us so many different turns and straights and curves, and that might just be where that person is at that time. And
you mean not want to be alone,
and that's what they need for that time, because of they may be broke. I mean, I remember being in that position where I was so broken and busted till just a fingernail was more than what was great. I was grateful for because of the position I was at the time. So that's why I say, I don't know. It depends on what that person is going through at that time.
Wow. We have a question on the table. Esther says, what if he wants you by his side all the time? Is that too much?
No, I want my wife by my side all the time.
Well, hold on. There's different facets to that.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, right. If he's doing it out of control and low self-esteem, there's going to be a problem.
That's bad. That's a problem.
If it's because you guys are just best friends and he just like genuinely hanging with his best friend, then that's cool. But if it's I just want you by my side, I don't want you with nowhere else because he has low self-esteem, vice versa. If it's the same way with a guy, if he's like, a woman, if it's like, I just want to be by you all the time. And she doesn't trust, low self-esteem.
Those are red flags.
Different issues.
Yeah.
Then yeah. But if it's just like, when you just genuinely like hanging, you don't look at it as you're by my side all the time. You don't never look at it that way. You're like, I'm just hanging out with my like we hang out. We just hang out all the time. So I don't look at it as, oh my God, everywhere I go, you got to go with me.
Well, you guys are very different. You guys broke the mold, honestly. Yeah. This relationship that we're looking at here. Yeah. You guys are fun to be around. Even for me, being a person on the outside here, I love being around these two. They're fun and they're just fun. And everything that they're saying, the way they love each other is real, guys. They're not doing this for the show. Esther has another question. What if he doesn't want you to work? Ooh.
Enjoy.
Well, that's another.
Enjoy.
Well, there's two parts to that too. If he doesn't want you to work because it's still a form of, you got to figure out what is it, control, or he just genuinely want to take care of you. There's a difference. Like, I don't have to work. But if I do, it's because I choose to, or it's just like I just want to help and be a part, and he doesn't get upset. But he doesn't put a mandate of you ain't getting no job and you ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to, but if you do and you come alongside and help, I'm grateful. It's just
I would not accept it. If a man said, Ella, listen, baby, you don't have to work, I'm still gonna work because I have to continue to grow.
right.
I think that's what love is. When you can be in a relationship and you can still do you and he can do himself, he's not intimidated because I still want to grow, then that's love to me. But if my heart and my passion is in having my own and doing my own thing, and just because you got it like that, nah. Because now you think you're going to tell me what to do. Because I'll take your money and still won't do what you say. So,
Like for instance, like for me, I
just
do.
saying.
I just work from home. I don't. If
Right.
I want to get me a corporate position, I can. But I run a business. But it's funny because what I do, we do together.
Right.
That makes sense. So our businesses are kind of intertwined together.
Enhance each other.
They enhance each other.
That's right.
So if you got a man and he's like, you ain't getting no job, I want you to stay home.
Oh no, baby. Then you're next.
No.
Next. I'm not. So Esther, so real talk. Yes. Continue to grow. Don't, if you want to work and do your own thing, don't let, I'm just telling you. Me, I'm not, no.
Okay, he got something to say.
But
If it's a form of control.
again, even does she love him? Does he love her?
That doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because that thing works out. That thing can work out. When he
So
can
what
buy-
happens? He's
What?
using all his money and now he decides, you know what? I found somebody else I want. Now I'm gonna take my money and hit the road. Now you're left with nothing.
You got that happen.
No dreams. You have no goals because you gave all of them up for me. Absolutely, I will never do that. Not for no man. Even Jesus doesn't want me to do that for him. Why would I do that for a man? Never.
And you have had women, and I've met them, and I've even been around stay home moms, and they have done nothing but just be stay home moms, and only for them to get up and go get someone. And it's, watch this, he go get someone who got a career.
Because that's what they're attracted to.
He go get someone with a career.
Yeah. Because
Right?
that's what they're attracted to.
Right? Yeah. It's so I've seen it happen. But if
And now you're sitting here you're like, but wait a minute. I was the VP of a company, a Fortune 500 company when I met you. And I gave all of that up to support you. And now you leave me for a woman that does the same thing I was doing? Think about it. So there's another reason why he doesn't want you to work. And it's not because he just wants you to rest.
Okay, you guys are speculating.
no,
Oh,
I'm
well,
I've
give us some knowledge, brother. Give us some knowledge.
Okay.
I've met him. So.
Impart knowledge upon us.
And they are some men like that.
Mhm.
But there are some that are not. And they really genuinely want to take care of. And they have no intentions of leaving. But our society has, and our past has made us speculate that that's what's going to happen, and fears and television. But there are genuine men. When I first got married, I didn't want none of my wives ever to work, and they didn't. They didn't have to, and I took care of them.
I was different, y'all.
I know it. This is a baller you got sitting next to
A
you.
whole different ball game.
Oh, different ball game.
Wait, what?
And look at you. You've accepted it. It's good, right?
See what I mean? But that was, but initially, that's what I wanted.
I know. I hear you. But I want you guys to address what Esther says. She says this guy that she's talking about, he's rich and famous. I'm just tired of playing the background. I love him to life. Then she says, no, he will never leave me in his will. What? Oh, no. Oh, no.
Wait, what?
He has a will, and you're not in it.
It's time to go.
Time to go.
Time to go.
It ain't worth it.
Amen.
Now, it'd be different. Now, this is what I'm doing. Now I'm getting ready to go into that game phase. But that's where my head took me just then. Okay, so he's rich and famous. So let's stack our papers now. Let's get into invest in our business. So when you die, I already got me. I already got it. Jean, is that a strategy that she should take, or am I giving her horrible advice?
Yeah, that's a bad idea because at the end of the day, we still reap what we sow. Get in it for the right reasons, even if you lose.
Even she says, no, I am in it. Okay, she says she is in it.
Yeah, so if we do things for the right reasons, even when you lose, we still win.
No matter what happens, I win. That's true. That's one of my mottos.
Because we reap what we sow. May not be where we sow, but we will reap what we sow.
So she's in the will.
She is in the will. So if she's in the will and he's saying,
you better make yourself comfortable.
Well, then that changes everything, baby.
I'm in the will.
That's a game changer. Pull up a pillow.
Yeah, but guess what? What happens if that changes? We change. People change wills all the time.
Life changes, but that's okay. So we can't go through life afraid and don't enjoy that moment in time that she has a period of rest.
Okay, so then
maybe God's just allowing her a period of rest. Rest.
Okay. It appears she appreciates your advice. Jean 1, Ella 0. All right. Since you winning, let me ask you some more stuff. Okay. What if, you know how a lot of times, Jean, women, we love to make you guys our priority. Like we wake up in the morning thinking about y'all. We go to bed thinking about y'all through the day.
Y'all do?
Yeah. Sending you messages and all this kind of stuff. Why don't y'all do it? And if a man doesn't, does that mean that he doesn't appreciate, he doesn't care what I'm doing, he doesn't have time, he doesn't know how to manage his time, or it's just about sex?
Okay, I will speak for myself. Unless I do not see it, I am responding. Whether I'm at work, church, or anywhere else, because that's my baby. And the only reason why she did not get a text is because I did not see it.
And I believe that with you. I do. And I believe that about Shannon too. But I'm talking about the ones who haven't committed, but they get together for sex. He doesn't have a problem. If I were to text him right now, I'd be like, look, come get this. He'll respond then. But if I say I'm really just having a really hard day at work, he ain't got time for that, right? So am I to assume, girl, it's just lust. He just wants to hit it.
Well,
he doesn't care about your life.
It's how you started it.
No.
That's how you started. If you started off lust, then that's all you're gonna get.
Yeah.
If you were okay with it, and it's just.
And now you're growing attached.
And now you want somebody to talk to, or you want to lean on.
And that's a very backwards way to do things. That's like asking a man to eat this huge meal, this big old steak, and then you want him to eat dessert and he's full. Or eat all the dessert and then you want to eat the steak. He's full. He's full. I got what I wanted. I'm good. I'm not gonna eat.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions that women think is that they can use sex to get him.
Or
we can lose marriage to get him to fall for us, because we marry people we're not in love with. Well, he'll learn to love me. He'll fall in love with me. I'll get married now. Like, those are very common mistakes that a lot of people do make.
Women do that a lot. There are women that their mothers and grandmothers tell them that you can learn to love them.
Yeah.
And
that's bad advice.
It's a very bad advice. And same for men. Listen, it will really help us in this lust and love. It will really help us if we really listen to God.
Through his eyes.
And look, and look through his eyes regarding
marriage.
Because all relationships are so much different, because the people are so much different. There's so many variables.
Right.
What works for me may not work for you.
So I have a good question then. So what about these men that say, okay, Gene, I hear what you're talking about God. I got her knocked up. I want to marry her. Isn't that doing the right thing? I don't love her. And this thing did just start out as just a booty call. But since you say I need to do the right thing, God would expect me to marry her, even though I don't love this woman. Is he doing the right thing to marry her? Yes or no?
You know what? I used to think like that. And I married because of that.
Yeah.
I did not want to see another man raise my baby. But I also loved her. I do not recommend, okay, first of all, even when I was out there wilding out, my standard was this: don't be with nobody that you couldn't see yourself marrying.
Okay.
That's my first standard. My second standard was um, their beliefs, and so that was how I did it. I do not recommend people getting married just because of a baby, but I do not recommend people just having sex if you are not considering marriage. I think it can be a double whammy. Don't do that to the baby. Don't do that to the mother of the baby. Don't do that to yourself. Don't give your seed to. Be careful who you give your seed to.
Right.
Because if she is the spawn of Satan, she will teach that baby to hate you. She'll weaponize that baby. The baby.
We know where that's coming from. Yeah.
She'll use that baby to rip your heart out. You know. Yeah. So don't do that.
It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, I say keep it to yourself.
That's the first of women. Be careful who seed you receive.
Gene, is it possible for men to have sex without catching feelings?
Yes.
And see, that's the part that women need to understand. We think that we can do it too. I think it's impossible. I think it's hard for anybody to have sex without catching feelings, simply because of what that connection means. It really is a connection. And sex was meant for the same reason, for married people to come together and give each other pleasure. So it does what it's supposed to do, whether you're married or not. That's why you have these soul ties to people and you can't seem to get rid of them. It's because of sex. So I personally think that it is very difficult to have sex with somebody and not feel something. You may be lying to yourself like, girl, look, it's just sex. But somewhere along the line, you caught something.
You catch feelings.
Now, G, have you ever had sex with somebody and you didn't have feelings for them?
Yes.
So that's why it's possible. That's Shannon, right. As a woman, have you ever had sex with somebody that you didn't have feelings for?
No, I have feelings.
She can't help it.
Feelings.
Now, Ella, let's be fair. Even though it's my show, I have to answer too, right, G? G's like, you didn't answer that question. Absolutely, I've had sex with somebody that I didn't have feelings for. Yeah, I've done it too. So, and as you were saying that, Shannon, I was thinking, did I eventually catch feelings though? No. No. No.
Everybody,
but that was also when I was younger too.
Right.
Wilding out, like you call it, Gene. As you grow and mature, your idea and your concepts and your perspective on sex changes. Now it can only be with someone that there's feelings for. See how it changed?
Well, everybody's different, right?
Yeah.
So like listening to your, when we did the show with you and you were telling your story of the things that you've been through.
Yeah.
It's the reason why you were that way.
Yeah.
For me, it was, I was missing my dad, if that makes sense. So my mom and dad divorced when I was younger. And even though my mom remarried, he was like a dad, but there was that I just wanted to be loved. So it was more easier for me to catch feelings than to be like, I ain't catching no feelings, because my thing was, I just wanted to be loved. I just thought if you with me, you love me, or you'll grow to love me. I didn't use it for you to love me. I was, was giving myself hoping, to manipulate. Does that make sense? Like, if you
absolutely. It makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Where there's women who have been through so much, whether it's rape, abuse. And they're like, you did it to me, I'm about to do it to you. I ain't about to catch no feelings. And they don't catch feelings because they put up such a massive guard. They put up such a massive blockage.
It's hard to break it down. Yeah.
They don't catch feelings. So they do the same thing. I know someone, she was like that. And she said, I use a joker in a minute. Didn't catch a damn feeling for him. But if you listen to her story, what she went through, why she was so brutal. She did stuff that you only thought dudes do. So when she telling me the story, I was there like, you did what? You
be surprised some of the stuff that women will do, right, Gene?
Oh, not anymore.
Wow. So before we wrap up the show, tell me what do we want people to get out of this conversation when it's lust? Is it lust or is it love? Knowing the difference makes the difference. What do we want people to take home with them from this topic, Gene?
Be careful what you invest in. Your mind and your body and your soul are more valuable than you know. And
amen. That's good.
It means everything to. Oftentimes, we invest in penny stock, expecting to get $1. You're not going to get $1 out of a penny stock, and you're not going to get $1 out of a dime, a nickel, or a quarter stock. And oftentimes, us running around having sex in these penny stock, and then we catch a feeling and we think, hey, it's going to be $1. No, it's not. It's going to be a penny. And you personally, men and women, you're too valuable of a human being to waste your money, waste your body, waste your emotions, your finances, your spirit on junk food. It's not going to nourish the body. It will actually destroy it and bring destruction to it. And if a baby is born out of it,
that makes it even worse. Yeah. Good point. Good point, bro. Love it. Shannon, what do we want people to get out of this conversation tonight?
I have to agree with that. You first of all, you got to get to the root of why you're lusty. You got to ask yourself, why? What is it about this person? Why do I want them so bad? Is it them or is it me? What is it in me, or what's attracting them to me or me to them? You got a lot of women who just like the thug, the bad boy. Well, why? What is it that you're so attracted to that lifestyle? And then when he doesn't want you, you're devastated. Vice versa. You got guys who they're attracted to a certain type of woman. Why? What is causing the lust? I think when you can answer that question, it'll help. But you got to learn to value yourself.
Yeah. Usually pain is what
what caused the lust.
And usually it's deep-seated, deep-rooted, and often covered up. You can't find it. It's one of those things you really got to go to the Lord about. But I noticed a lot of things about me when God started uncovering the hurts, not the past, traumas, the traumas. You can learn a lot about a person when you go through their trauma treasure, their trauma.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because
that's a good point.
It will explain why people act and respond the way they do.
So in other words, you're saying that what we have to do as people, as humans that are watching this broadcast, we have to find out what is it, because it may not just be a lustful desire, like your body is yearning for him, because you don't know him. And for us to give in to those desires, we have to find out what is the root of it. Because at the end of the day, like we started out on this broadcast, I said that, we can have our head so high in the clouds that we start making bad decisions. And being in a relationship over and over and over again with someone that you're just lusting and you're hoping to get love out of, that is a very bad decision. And it will lead to a lot of hurt. And that's what we're trying to avoid here on the Ella Johnson Show. Listen, I hope you guys got something out of this broadcast, because the end of the day, you are either with a Boaz or a Bozo. All right? You have to decide which one. Pray about it. God will let you know. But, we all want a Boaz. But listen, we have to be honest about what we do have. And I hope that this show will help you to evaluate your own truth, right? Nothing else, guys. Y'all sit right there so we could chat afterwards. But I want to thank everybody that tuned in to the Ella Johnson Show tonight. Thank you for watching from YouTube and Facebook. We appreciate you. Like I said, please share the broadcast, and I'll see you next week right here, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, the Ella Johnson Show, for more true stories. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Ella Johnson Show. We'll see you next time.
We are supporters of the Ella Johnson Show. We live in South Korea. We have been watching Ella Johnson Show for like a year now, and we love her show. Her show is very inspirational, motivational, and educational.
If you would like to be a guest on the Ella Johnson Show, send an email to theellajohnsonshow@gmail.com or send a text message to 407-334-6997.
We love Ella Johnson Show.